Hey guys, what's up? It's Chad Close here with another Blender / Unity tutorial. We're going to be looking into saying like making a window in Unity that when a user breaks it, it'll have a shattering effect and then it'll be without glass afterwards. So pretty much it's going to be a pretty basic way we're going to do it. We're going to have a windowsill. That's always going to be there. And then we're going to have glass unbroken. A prefab that the glass is breaking, and then afterward there'll just be no glass. So pretty simple. So let's get into Blender and let's just start making this thing. So first let's just make the windowsill. So we'll just start out with a cube, and we're just gonna grab this along the G and the Z axis and move it up. Go into edit mode. Actually, let's redo that. We want the origin at 0, 0. We're going to have everything's origin at 0, 0. And then we'll go into edit mode, move it up 1. And we'll grab this top face and we'll move it up another 1. So this will be the window. The window will be 3 by 2. And we'll just go to vertices, limits. And we're just going to select all of these sides, extrude it along the X, 0.05. Grab X 0.1. We'll have a thick windowsill, 0.1. And we're just extruding all of these 0.1. And then we're going to go to face selects and just select the faces in the middle. Next we're going to select these vertices because we need to fill this in. So just select them all like that. And obviously our windowsill is not going to be this big, so let's scale along the Y to about right there. That'll work. So there we have our windowsill. Let's go over here and we'll just name it windowsill. We'll save this, and we'll go ahead and export our windowsill by going File, Export, FBX. We're going to come down here and go Selected Object, and then we're going to go up to say 30 will be good, and I'm just going to export it straight into my assets folder, and we're going to create we'll create a new folder, name window, and we'll export it in there. Let's go back into Unity, and here we have our window with our materials. I already made a simple material named wood and wood texture. We're going to go ahead and drag this windowsill in there, put it at 0, 0, and then we're going to assign the wood texture to it. As you can see, it's not unwrapped, so let's go back into Blender. Let's just use Smart Unwrap, and then we're just going to File, Save, File, Export, FBX, click it, and all the settings should be the same, and just go ahead and export. And there. As you can see, the grain is going the wrong way. So let's just go over here, split this, go into UV image, tab mode, and then let's select everything, rotate it 90, and then UVs, pack islands, and that should be good. So let's export this one more time. Save it, export it, FBX, export it. And there we have it. So our wood grain is going the right way. The front isn't, but this isn't going to be the main focus of the tutorial, so we're not going to go over much more. Let's just take the light and get it out of the way. Alright, so let's next make our window that is unbroken. So let's just go into our windowsill, select these vertices, this ring right here. And we're just going to do Shift, and we'll select this ring too, actually. So we grab these inside ones, Shift D, Alt V, separate selection. And then we got our windowsill, so we'll just call this window unbroke. And then we're going to scale along the Y-axis. Let's go into edit mode. Scale along the Y-axis a little more, and that'll be how thick our window is. And let's just go ahead and fill it in here. Now, this is gonna be, and let's recalculate. So go to T, and then recalculate, and then we're just gonna unwrap this again. Smart unwrap. Should be fine. Alright. Go ahead and file save this. Now, in Unity, we're not gonna want a 3D object because it's gonna have a face here, and the window's actually gonna be darker than what we have on a texture. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're just gonna take the front face. So this is the front side right here. So we're just gonna take that, Shift D, duplicate it, separate it out, and then now we have unbroken. We're gonna rename this to break object, and we're just gonna hide that for right now, and we're gonna rename this to unbreak. So now we just have a plane for our unbreak. Alright, so that's how we're gonna do that, and make sure it's on the front side. Hopefully we don't run into too much trouble there. And we're just, the unwrap is fine. You can pack islands, so it's a little bigger. And now we're gonna go unbreak, make sure it's selected, go file, export, fbx. Now we're gonna rename to this, oops. And we're gonna do unbroke. Make sure the scale is 30, selected objects, and we're gonna go ahead and export this. So here it is in Unity. We're going to delete the material that it made for us. We don't want that. Drag in our window. Again, just put 0, 0, 0. And as you can see for Blender, our Y is backwards because we want this to be the front. And it's saying this is the front. So what we're actually going to do, instead of redoing everything in Blender, we're just going to take the main camera and just make it 2.5 and rotate it 180. So it's looking the other way. Same thing with the directional light. We'll just do like 270. Should be good. So now we got light from this way. Ish. There we go. Alright, so now let's go ahead and look at our glass texture. I already made this, so here's the material. Just a simple particles additive with a glass, and then I changed the tint color. So you can change how dark you want it. So we're just going to do right about there. And you can see that it's see-through. So say I just put a cube in here quick and move it back. You can see through the glass, and pretty cool, right? And as you can see, there is, so if we did it the other way, where we have two, it would end up looking like this. And you get that kind of foggy effect. And if you want that in your game, go ahead, put it in, but I don't want that. I just want this simple glass. So, go ahead and delete this cube. So now we have our window and our unbroken window, so we're just going to go ahead and save that. I just already made a scene called breaking glass. Now let's go ahead and make the actual window that breaks. So let's go ahead and hide the unbroken and unhide the window break. We're going to go ahead and hide the seal for right now. And what we're going to do in Blender, we're going to go up here and go to Blender Game. We're going to unwrap this, smart unwrap, and we already did that. And we're going to rejoin these, so we just have this. Alright, now what we are going to do is we're going to use an add-on in Blender. I'm currently using 2.6 something. It should be in your model if you've updated it. And we're just going to go File, User Preferences, go to the add-on, and we're going to type in Cell, and it's self-ration. And we are going to just not say that as default, but just check that. And we're going to use that tool. Now, I'm not going to go into depth on how to use this tool. Make sure you're in Blender engine or game for this part. But I'm not going to go in depth of how you can use this. But pretty much it fractures it, and it's based on the vertices, or in our case we're going to use a grease pencil. So we're just going to exit out of that by hitting escape. In here we are going to make our crack. So we're going to go hit N, bring up this. On grease panel we're just going to hit new and then go to surface. Now we're going to make kind of a spider web looking thing right here, and then it's going to get smaller as it goes out. So we're going to hold D. Oh, yeah. Nope. Sorry about that. I hit Shift D. Alright, hold D and just draw like a circle. And then we're going to keep drawing. Kind of an inconvenient time for my screencast to run out. But we're just going to go ahead and draw on this. We'll have the spider lead looking. And then after we have this target, we're just going to put random dots. As we get farther away, they're just going to be spread out more. Alright, so this is good enough for what we're doing. So now we're going to make sure it's selected. We're in Game Blender, Cell Fracture, and then we're going to go hit Grease Pencil, and we're just going to unselect that. I'm going to put the source limit to 100. We won't even have 100 here. You can make it bigger if you want more glass shards, but in my case 100 should just be fine. So you can kind of see it working in the background. And alright, now what it does automatically is it puts everything onto the next layer. So yeah, I have 2 of these objects. Don't worry about that too much. I'm just going to leave it. But in here, now if you go to the next layer, you can see we have our glass shards close in the center, and then they get spread out as they go farther away. Now, make sure you are in the Blender game engine, because now all of these individual frac things has a rigid body already assigned and ready to go, and it's based on mass. So the bigger ones have more mass than the little tiny pieces. So pretty cool effect. Now what we're going to do is we are going to go back to the first layer, hit Alt-H on hide, we're going to shift duplicate this cell, or the sill, and we're going to go ahead and move it to our second layer. So now we have this sill, and then we have all of our individual fractures. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go into Game Logic for this part. And let's kind of get resituated again. And what we're going to do is I'm going to split this first. Come on, there we go, split area. And I'm going to make one of these a timeline so I can see what's going on here. If I hit wireframe and hit P, we can see that it kind of falls down. But I mean, if you hit glass, when does it ever look like that? So what we're going to do is have an object come and hit this, and what we're just going to simply do is make a UV sphere. We're going to go scalar up along the y-axis, and then scale it on the y-axis. So now we kind of just have this kind of, I don't know, object looking thing, and we're going to go ahead and animate this. So it's going to be right here. Remember, this is our front. And we're just going to go down here, down to location, keyframe it. We'll go 10 steps ahead, move it over here, and keyframe it again. So now, as you can see, it's moving across and it's going to hit everything. Now, since we are in the Blender game engine, if we go ahead and hit P here, as we can see, it doesn't move. And the reason why we have to do that is we have to set up a sensor. Now, I'm not going to go into this because I really don't know anything about it, but I know how to make it work. So you go to Always on this sensor, and over here we're going to go Add Actuator. Oop, make sure you have this selected, the sphere. Add Actuator, Action. And on the action, we're just going to have Sphere Action. That's the name of the action I made with it, and then we're just going to go ahead and drag that across. So now if we go ahead and hit P, make sure when you hit P it's on 1. And it still does not do it, and that is because we have to set up our start and end. So we're going to go start 100 or 1 and then end 100. That should be able to. So now we have this big crash of everything flying. So as you can see, a lot of stuff falls through. One way to fix that is if you go over here, and we're going to step up our sub steps. Go ahead and hit P. Yeah, that definitely didn't work. We're just gonna go and we are gonna make this go slower, pretty much what we're actually gonna do. So we're gonna go ahead and keyframe this and just make it farther away. the keyframe again, so now when it moves, oh, no, my bad, make it closer, so it doesn't move as fast. Got too many keyframes going in here. Alright, so now when it moves, it's not going to go as fast. So, let's go ahead and go back to frame 1 and look at this. Alright, so that's a better crash. As you can see when we do this, things kind of end up inside of the collider. So we can go over here, and this should help a little bit. Go to collision bound, and we could just use box. And as you can see, it kind of kicks everything out. We can play around with triangle mesh. Yeah. Cylinder. Whoa, that was explosive. We can do severe. That one's pretty good. So here's our window animation I'm gonna use. So it's kind of just everything's kind of breaking apart. And as you can see, if you go up from the side, we have these two glasses go in. In my case, I really don't care about that. But you might want to tweak this so you don't want the glasses to fall in if that's what you want. Right now, I don't really care. So we're going to go ahead and select everything in the scene, deselect the circle, and deselect the sill. So now we have just the glass selected. And we're going to go up to here, go to Game, Record Animation. Now make sure you have this at 1, otherwise it's really going to screw it up. And we're going to hit P, go ahead and render this out, and we're just going to kind of make it, that's good. And then hit Escape to end it. And now what we did, we recorded all of the keyframes for all of these. So we're going to go ahead, go to Animation, and let's just go ahead and get rid of this. It's going to be slowing it down. And we have all these keyframes of all of the different ones. Alright, sorry for that cutout. And what we're going to do now is kind of just trim up this animation. Because as you can see, it blows out. And we only really need up to about 100. So we're just going to go make this end at 100. And then we're going to hit B. Select all of these keyframes. Whoops. Let's go. Hold up. Hit A. Unselect everything. Hit B. Select all these keyframes. And then X and delete them all. And let's zoom in here. And just select all of them that we don't need. So there we go. Now we have 100 frames of this kind of glass going on here. And now we have everything selected. We're going to go back to keyframe 1. We're going to go hit File, Save first. File, Export, FBX, Selected Objects 30, and we are going to go to breakable glass and then right into the window, and we're just going to do window breaking. So window breaking. We're going to go ahead and export this. Come back into Blender, or Unity, okay. As it's importing. It's going to take a little bit to import it because it's a lot of little pieces. And we're just going to go ahead and make this its own prefab. So we're just going to go and actually, in the window, we're going to make prefabs. Folder. Drag the window. We're going to rename this window sill. Drag that into window prefabs. Drag that the window. We're going to delete that, and then we're going to go ahead and take window break and put it in here. And we're going to put it at 0, 0. So there we go. Now we have it in there. And as you can see, it's kind of all, I don't know, dim lit type of thing. Not going to worry about it right now. We'll see after what it looks like after we put this glass. So we're going to need glass. And put the seamless. Alright, so in my case, this isn't going to really matter because right when you play the game, it plays. it's just gonna shatter. So I mean, you don't really need it. You don't need to worry about the lighting on that. We are gonna take our camera, and just move it up right there. And as you can see, it's kind of in slow-mo. So what we're gonna do is go back into Blender, and we are going to go to frame 1, and we're just going to select it all, scale it down, and we'll just make it go like scale 0.6. That might be a little fast, but we'll see how it goes. Save, and we're going to go ahead and export it again. And it should re-import here. And then we'll go ahead and play it. So now we got more of an explosive thing. If you don't like how fast the gravity is in this one, when you make your animation, you can go in here and increase your gravity. It's fine for what I'm doing right now. So there we go, kind of explodes. And as you can see, all the gotta redo the material, which is fine. Change this to additive. Oh, whoa. Maybe not. Yeah. This is what I was talking about when you have two sides. It kind of goes crazy. What we're going to do is we're just going to leave it a diffuse. So when it's shattering, we'll see if it matters too much, but we'll just have it go like that right now. I've tried looking into shattering a plane with a cell fracture. It didn't really work. So this is what we're going to do. Sorry. Now let's go ahead and make this a prefab. As we can see, we have an animation that plays it automatically. Put that in there, and we're just going to go ahead and delete this. And on our windowsill, delete the animation on there. We are going to make a script that makes it break. So we're just going to do window control right now. Go ahead and open this up, and now we're going to have a prefab. Unbroke is already going to be attached to it, so we don't need to do that. We're just going to need a breaking window, and then make it a transform. Now what we're going to have to do, alright, so what else do we need? We need a variable called break window equals false. So if that's going to be true, we're going to break this window. We're going to need a variable called current window. That's going to be a transform, and that's just going to hold the current window that is in place so we can delete it. And down in update, we're just going to go if break window, and we're going to have another variable called broke equals false. So if break window broke equals true, break window equals false. Let's see, we don't need this actually. Break window equals false. So if we're going to break the window, we're going to first destroy the current window .game object. And then we are going to instantiate a new window. So we're going to do var window equals instantiate. I'm almost positive I spelled that wrong, but we're going to just go with it right now. Breaking window transform.position, and then we're going to do quarterine identity, which I have no idea how to spell. So we're just going to go ahead and call it Unity type in identity, and I don't even know how to spell that right. Identity, quarter-on, copy, paste, and we're good to go. So we're just going to go ahead and see. Instantiate, I spelled wrong. What do you know? Instantiate. Is that right? No. Oh boy. Alright, it's right here. Instantiate. It's in scripting overview. So how we spell it? It's right there. So let's just go ahead and copy. I wasn't off that bad. So now we're going to instantiate our window, and then we're going to make our current window equal window, and then if broke, and then if current window dot transform dot animation is plain, I believe it is that. So if it is not, currently playing, we want it to destroy current window. And then we are going to make broke equals false. And that should be all. So let's just see if I got any errors. 31. Animation, just check it out. Animation is playing. So it is lowercase I. Alright, there we go. So now go to our windowsill. Let's just attach the script, and then we're going to bring in our unbroken. Make that be 0. Our windowsill, we're going to have that be the current window. Breaking window is going to be our breaking window prefab. And let's go ahead and hit play. And now when we want to break window, boom. And as you can see, the material is much different. So let's go ahead and tweak that particles additive. Dragging in the scene, put it side by side and just check this out. Let's just edit this so it looks more closely similar. So that's pretty good. And let's go ahead and delete that. As you can see, we got an error. Game object. There we go. Alright, let's go ahead and play this. Let's click our windowsill, and let's break the window. So there we go. So pretty simple way, or not simple way, but it's one way of making a window break. So pretty cool. Let's go ahead and just kind of look at that from the scene view. So there we have a window, click break, and then the window breaks out. So you could have your guy bash it, or something similar like that. That has been today's tutorial. Here's the script again. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope it helps out. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, look for more videos. Check out our new game, BeatDotz. There's a video on my page. It's a pretty fun game. You get to make some pretty cool beats. So, go check that out. And thanks.